Hi everyone! Today I'm sewing a pretty awesome jumpsuit pattern. I've been wanting to sew a jumpsuit for a good while now, and when I found this pattern I knew it was special. And it didn't disappoint. The fit came out great and really love the silhouette. This is another one of the great patterns you can find for free online at fabricsstore.com. I've left the link below so you can download it and sew it with me today. Just a couple things before we get started. 1, please subscribe to this channel. It's the best way for you to let me know that you like these sew-alongs and you want to see more. And 2, if there are specific styles or patterns that you really want to see sew-alongs for, please let me know in the comments. This way I can create more videos that I'm sure you'll love. And now it's time to sew the Sloan pattern. Let's get started. You will need 2 front pieces mirrored, 1 back piece on the fold, 2 front pants mirrored, 2 back pants mirrored, 2 pockets mirrored, 2 cuffs, 2 collars cut on the fold and 1 cut on the fold of interfacing, 2 front facings and 2 interfacing, 1 back facing cut on the fold and 1 cut on the fold of interfacing, 1 22-inch invisible zipper, and 5 3/4 to 1 inch buttons. Iron your interfacings to the wrong sides of your facings and one of your collars. I've transferred all of my darts using a tracing wheel and tracing paper for the front bodice, the back bodice, as well as the back pant. I'm going to prepare all of my darts and sew them now. Working from the wrong side of your fabric, fold your darts in half and poke your pin through one side of the dart leg and out the other. Now that all my darts are pinned, I'm ready to take them to my machine and sew, starting from the outer edge all the way to the point, leaving tails at the end to tie your threads. Press each dart toward the center of the garment. With your front and back bodice pieces right sides together, pin your shoulder seams and sew with a 3/8 inch seam allowance and then serge. With right sides together, pin your facings at the shoulder seams. Sew with a 3/8 inch seam allowance and press them open. Now serge all the outside edges of your facing from beginning to end for a clean finish. Place your collar pieces right sides together and pin all of the edges except for the bottom edge. Sew your side and top edges with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Now that our collar pieces are sewn together, trim your seams and clip your corners. Now turn your collar right side out and give it a good press. Now that my collar is pressed, I'm going to top stitch the side and top edges with a 1/8 inch seam allowance. With right sides together, place your collar on your bodice piece, matching center backs, and pin. Now place your facing right sides together with your bodice piece, matching center backs, and pin. Continue pinning your facing all around the neckline and all the way down to the bottom of the hem, pinning your collar as well as you go. Now sew all around your neckline and center fronts with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Now that we've sewn the facing and collar to the bodice, we can clip the corners and trim the seams and clip into our neckline. Now turn your facing to the inside of the garment and give it a good press. Now that everything is nice and pressed, take your bodice back to your machine and top stitch all along the center fronts and the neckline with a 1/8 inch seam allowance. With right sides together, Pin your right side seam only. Sew your right side seam with a 3/8 inch seam allowance and serge. Also serge the side seams on the left side separately. Now it's time to sew our buttonholes. Along my right center front, I've made markings in chalk to space my buttons 1 3/4 inch apart from each other. I've also distanced each button 5/8 inch from the edge. And now I'm ready to sew. I finished sewing my buttonholes and I opened them up, and now I've overlapped the right bodice onto the left and pinned so that I can mark the centers of the buttonholes onto the left side to indicate where my buttons will go. Now that your buttons are sewn on, take it to your machine and base the bottom edge 1/4 inch from the edge, just as far as the facing. Fold your pocket pieces in half right sides together and pin the bottom edges. Do this for both pockets and sew at a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Now trim the seams and turn them inside out. Give them a good press and then top stitch along the original seam at 3/8 inch. Lay the wrong side of your pocket with the right side of your front pant piece, matching diagonal lines, and pin. Sew with a 3/8 inch seam allowance, back stitching at both ends. Now that it's sewn, I'll turn the pocket to the inside, give it a press, and top stitch 3/8 inch. Do this for both pockets. Now on the inside of your pants, pin the remaining side of your pocket and baste in place 1/4 inch from the edge. Do this for both pockets. With right sides together, pin your 2 front pieces along the rise. Stitch with a 3/8 inch seam allowance and serge. Now do the same steps for your 2 back pieces. Place your front and back pant pieces right sides together and pin all along the inseam. Match your crotch point and your notches. Sew the inseam with a 3/8 inch seam allowance and serge. With right sides together, pin your entire right side seam. Leave your left side seam open for now. Sew your right side seam with a 3/8 inch seam allowance and then serge. Go ahead and serge the front and back side seams of your left side so it's ready for us to put in our zipper later. Now it's time to attach our bodice to our pants. Place your bodice and pants right sides together, matching your seams and notches. Sew your entire seam with a 3/8 inch seam allowance and then serge. With right sides together, on the open side of your left seam, pin from your armpit to your zipper notch. Sew with a 3/8 inch seam allowance, back stitching at both ends. Unzip your zipper and take it to your iron to gently press open the teeth of the zipper, which for an invisible zipper automatically coil to the inside. Try to press that flat. Use a lower heat setting on your iron. With the right sides of your zipper tape facing the right sides of your garment, pin the zipper so that the teeth start at your zipper notch. Match up the side of your zipper tape directly with the seams. Do this for both sides. I'm going to be using a regular zipper foot and just sewing as close to the teeth as I can get. Now that we've finished installing the zipper, continue pinning your leg seam from the zipper end to the bottom of your hem. Sew with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. To hem the bottom of your pants, fold the fabric 1/2 inch and press. With this 1/2 inch fold tucked under, fold it again 1 inch and press. Now sew all the way around your hem close to this inner edge. Now the last thing left to do is our sleeve bands. Fold your sleeve bands right sides together and pin the short edges. Sew the short edges with a 3/8 inch seam allowance and press them open. Now fold your sleeve bands wrong sides together and they're ready to pin into our bodice. I've pinned my cuffs to the armholes with right sides together, and now I'm going to stitch with a 3/8 inch seam allowance around both cuffs. Now serge those cuff seams, and you are all done. Thank you so much for watching this sew along. I'll see you in the next video.